Hello everybody, my name is Alan, I'm from Sauber-Lab and today will be another video about Home Assistant. In this video specifically we're gonna show how you can install MQTT and how you can configure it. And before we start to show how to do this video, I'm gonna ask Alan why I wanted to do it and why it will be advantageous for me. It's simple. In the Home Assistant, you can integrate more and more devices using Mosquito or MQTT. And what it means, if you have one simple device look like this, you have only on and off. If you go to binary 1 and 2. If you go for this one, you have much more functions because you have a temperature and you can monitor this one. If you use only the normal integration, up to these ones will work really well. Once that you start to use a little bit more complicated, look like universal remote controls, you're gonna need to have more functionality in your system. What it means, you need to control more your system, and only with the standard application for the Home Assistant or standard integration for your USB dongle, this will have the bottleneck and will not work the way that you expect. In this way, we're gonna show first how you can install Mosquito MQTT and after how you can install Zigbee to MQTT. In this way, we're gonna start to be able to configure more complex device and make more integration. So if you like this idea and want to learn a little bit more about it, we're gonna show you this video. But first of all, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for the channel, and let's understand a little bit more about it. So before we start to install anything, we're gonna need to understand the basics. What is MQTT? If I go directly in the MQTT website, they will show this information. If I come here in the website, they will show this exact information. MQTT, the standard for IoT messaging. What it means? If I go a little bit down, they will explain a little bit how it's work the flow for this system. I have a client and I have a final client, and what you're going to install is the MQTT broker. It means that if I have a temperature sensor in one room, they will collect this data and will send this data from my sensor to the MQTT broker, and MQTT broker will send for or a final user or a phone or a database or anything that I configure. It's really good because you have this information going from one way and another and push in a simple way. So in this way you have one initial device and another final device, and you can do any configuration. You don't need to use only one protocol look like Zigbee. You can use anything that you can imagine or anything that has a red integration for your Home Assistant. They say that they have a lot of different industry, but we're not going to look it because it's not the point for our configuration. What we want to do is the Home Assistant. And so we're going to enter in our Home Assistant. In the Home Assistant, before we start to configure it, we need to understand how is the levels of configuration. When you have your MQTT, you have few information that you need to give for them. First of all, here it's all the support information. Here I have one light sensor or lamp controller that you can have the mode on and off. This mode on and off, it's 1 and 0, but they are located in this room 2. So the lamp or the lamp is off, this name is located in this room, and that this reason that you're gonna configure specific that lamp to turn on and turn off. Will make more sense once that we start to configure, but only you have in mind it. Other thing, don't forget about it, it's really important, MQTT have different levels of configuration. So you have the level 0. This level 0 is fire and forget. What it means? They will send information and that they will forget about it. Will be the fastest option for you send any configuration because they will only push one time that information, say, here is the paper, get this information, do whatever you need to do. And if you receive or not, it's not a problem for the broker. He gives you the information. So it's the fastest one, but if you need that information receive at least one time, it's not the best information that you have or best way. So then we go for level 1. This level 1 will be, they will send one paper and say, did you receive? Send another paper and say, did you receive? Send another paper and say, did you receive? Until that specific device say, yes, I received one. And they say, okay, job done, he received, I don't need to do anything else. But he'll not guarantee that that device really turn on the lamp or turn off the lamp or do exactly that application that we want. So then come the level 2. Level 2 will be the slowest one, and they will be sure that that action happened. So if they say turn on the lamp, turn on the lamp, turn on the lamp, and the device didn't turn on, they will keep annoying the device or keep sending information till the device, okay, I will turn on now. Once that's on and they say prove that's on, okay, it's on, job done, I don't need to do anything. So these different levels, it's how much important this information needs to be and how much data you can transmit. If you have only one device, yes, you should go for level 2 only to guarantee it. But you have thousands of devices, you need to think a little bit more about it because they will use more band, they will use more power, and they will use more information. If you're doing only your home, you can go level 2, but if you're doing something bigger, maybe it's not worth. So have this one in mind. Now we're gonna start to configure our MQTT. First thing, we need to create a user for our MQTT, otherwise they will not connect to our device. You can use your local user, yes, you can use your local user, but remember, if your user have admin rights, you don't want to give the same admin rights for MQTT for limitate a little bit what they can do. Other thing, you want only to have login local. You don't want that you don't want that someone get that user and try to log in external for your network. So it's really important that you configure it only local. So in this way, we're gonna configure it. To configure it, we come here in settings, here in people, we're gonna create add a person. So we'll put MQTT user, and put create. But this one, they didn't create yet the admin rights or the login settings for them. So I need to come here in users. In user, I will put add a user, and I will put MQTT user, and they will come exactly the same username, exactly what I want. And that my password will put test123, and we'll put test123. I suggest you to put a really hard password because otherwise they will find someone can break your network and discover this password. Other thing, I don't want to have admin right, but I want to set that they only looking local in my network. So now I can put create. Once that create and appear here, now we can go back in settings and we can go for our add-on. Remember, if you don't have a supervisor option and you cannot add any add-on, this installation will not work for you, so we needed to do another way to install it. But in this way, it will work well for me, so I'll come here and put add store, and I will look for Mosquito Broker. Here Mosquito Broker, it's really easy installation, I'll put install and wait a little bit until they finish to install. So let's wait. Once that they finish to install, before we put the start, let's always read the documentation to see if we forget anything. So come here in documentation and see. They say that you need to have the supervised add-on. Change a little bit because the new revision of the Home Assistant, but yes, basically it. You're gonna install the Mosquito Broker, install, and that's you have all this configuration to do. You don't need to worry about it because we're gonna use as integration, so you don't need to use your login rights straight away here. So we come here info again and put start. Other thing that I suggest you to do is to habilitate auto upload and watchdog only to be sure if break, they will identify it. Here the red appear your host name. They will say how much usage of your CPU and RAM that you're using. So have this one in mind, we come back in settings and come here integration. Integration, they should appear this MQTT. If they don't appear, always you can put here, add integration and tape it MQTT and configure it manually. But in my case, because I already have this MQTT here, I will use it. So we'll put configure. Here they will say you want to configure it or want to add this application and say yes, I want. So I put to add and here I finish it and already appear my MQTT. But this one is not configured yet. So what we need to do, we need to put reconfigure MQTT and they will appear this instant information. Here core Mosquito, I don't need to change because it will be the Mosquito host. His port I don't need to change because it's correctly port for your MQTT Mosquito, but my user is wrong. I didn't create this Home Assistant user, so I need to use MQTT user and my password, if you guys remember, will be test123. So we'll put test123, check if it's okay, and I put next. If you write your password correctly, you're gonna have this option to set up. If you write something wrong, they will block. Basically, you don't have the second page. I don't need to do anything, I only put submit. Once that I configure it, I can put my topic, Sauber-Lab lamp, only a test, and I can put start to listen, exactly the same name, and I publish it. So if I publish and that if they receive this information, it means that it's connected. If I put lamp a little bit different and try to publish, they will not receive anything because they are not looking for that specific information. So in this way, they need to have match information. If I put lamp again and publish, they will say how many that they receive, 1 or 2 messages, and what to the specific location. And this one, that's the topic that I was talking before. So guys, in this way, we finished to configure the MQTT. This MQTT is used for other applications, but next video we're gonna show how you can use the ZigBee to MQTT and how you can start to add to your integration. So if you like this video and think that was interesting, don't forget to leave a like, consider to subscribe for the channel if you're not yet, and see you next time.